I've got several recipes for you in this video that are all under $10. They're higher in fiber, higher in protein, super filling, and great for picky eaters too. And they're all meatless meals. However, if you don't like meatless meals and you do like to eat meat, that's okay. They're really easy to modify. You can add meat into them very easily. I'm gonna help you with that as well. So don't go away. Give these recipes a chance, and I really hope you love them. Let's get started. Tonight I'm making a super easy dish called lazy lasagna. So we're just gonna use cottage cheese, a jar of marinara, any pasta sauce, just use your favorite, Parmesan cheese, cream cheese, some sort of pasta. I like red lentil pasta or chickpea pasta because it does have a lot more fiber in it than just traditional pasta. Plus, this one actually freezes really well too. So I don't have to worry about undercooking it or something, just so it freezes well. This is my favorite kind of pasta for making freezer meals, and I am gonna be freezing some portions. And then just some mozzarella cheese, parsley, and Italian seasoning, and salt and pepper, and that's it. So let's get started. Now I'm only gonna be using 4 ounces of this cream cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and get this softened in the microwave. I've started a pot here to boil, and I did add some kosher salt to the water as well, and I'll just go ahead and cook this like it is on the container here. If you are planning to freeze it though, and you're using regular pasta, just cook it a little bit less, maybe a minute or 2 less, so that way it doesn't get mushy when you reheat it later. But this holds up really well, so just cook this as usual, or the chickpea pasta also holds up really well. So either one of those, you don't have to worry about undercooking those. To a large bowl, I'm gonna add 16 ounces of cottage cheese, so that's about 2 cups. There we go. And there's 2 cups. Now I'll add my softened cream cheese. Now 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon of dried parsley, and then you can add a little bit of salt and pepper if you like, but the cottage cheese is pretty salty, so you don't have to add a lot. Just add a little bit. Now I'm gonna mix this all together until it's completely combined. And if you really don't like to see the texture of the cottage cheese, you could blend it if you wanted to, but I haven't noticed any texture changes or issues. But if you really don't like the texture of cottage cheese, you might want to blend it first before you mix it with everything. Now we're just going to add our hot pasta into the mixture there, and then we're going to give this a mix until it's all combined. Now that that's all mixed together, we can start layering, and I'm just going to be using these 2 containers and a couple others for leftovers, but you can use a larger casserole dish and just put it all in once. But I like to make these in smaller portions so they're easier to save for leftovers or to freeze if we don't eat it all, and this is just what I like to do. But you can definitely do it whichever way you like. So we're gonna start layering. I'm just gonna put a spoonful on the bottom. If you're using a large casserole dish, it's just gonna be about 1/4 cup or so. And I'm just gonna spread that around. This is just to make sure it doesn't stick. So I'm just gonna spread it to the edges here. Now I'm gonna put half of the pasta in a layer first here. Then I'm gonna top the pasta with half the sauce. Do that same thing over here. We're just gonna top the pasta with half the sauce. Sprinkle with Parmesan cheese. And then some of the mozzarella here. We're just gonna do half the mozzarella on this layer. Then I'll do the other half of the pasta, and we're just gonna layer here. Then again, we'll put some more sauce, and then more mozzarella, and then sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on top. And then we're gonna cover these with foil, but we wanna make sure that it doesn't touch the top so it doesn't stick to the cheese. And then I'm just gonna bake these at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until they're nice and bubbly and everything's melty. Then we'll get these in the oven. And then we'll just get the lids on for these ones. And put these in the fridge for tomorrow. After about 15-20 minutes, I'm gonna take off the foil and then just let this continue cooking until the edges and the top are nice and golden and crispy. It's gonna be about 10 minutes more. All right, it's been an extra 10 minutes and everything looks absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna pull this out and let it set for just a few minutes, and then we'll serve it on up. Look how delicious this turned out. I can't wait for you to try this one. I hope you love it. Enjoy. Now I'm gonna be throwing together some chickpea chicken salad. I'm gonna be using a can of chickpeas, some Dijon mustard, mayonnaise. Of course, you can substitute whatever you have on hand. Then some red onions, but you can use white or yellow, whatever you have on hand, and some celery. And for seasonings, salt, pepper, poultry seasoning, and dill will work great. But again, you can use whatever you have on hand for this. First, I'm gonna add my can of drain and rinse chickpeas to a bowl. Then I'm gonna mash them up as finely as I want them. You can leave some chunks if you want. You can use a food processor instead. I just like to use a fork. So I'm just gonna mash them a whole bunch, and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, nice and mashed. Now I'm gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of mayo, and you can use vegan mayo or any kind of Miracle Whip or mayo, whatever you got on hand is fine. And I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And you can use any mustard that you have or whatever you like. I'm also gonna add in a half a teaspoon of dried dill, a half a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Poultry seasoning is just a combination of thyme, sage, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, and nutmeg. I'll season with a little bit of salt and a little black pepper. Now I'll just give this a mix until it's combined. And now that that's all combined, I'll add 1 stick of celery that I've diced and about 2 tablespoons of onions. And these are finely diced. You can use red onions, yellow, white, whatever you have on hand. And we'll just mix that until it's combined. And that's it, chickpea chicken salad. And I usually like to serve this on top of a slice of cucumber, kind of like a cucumber chip like this. It's super delicious. And this time I'm gonna test this out on some bell peppers and see how that goes too. See if I like it this way. Just like that, that's it. You can keep this in the refrigerator too for up to, I would say, about 3 or 4 days. I hope you love this one. But yeah, it's really delicious with bell peppers too. Enjoy. Tonight for dinner, I'm making one of my favorites. It's a fire roasted lentil and quinoa skillet. And I'm gonna be using some of these frozen beans instead of a can of black beans. And I've got some shredded cheese, red onion, red lentils, quinoa, green lentils, homemade taco seasoning, a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. And instead of a can of corn, I'm gonna be using this freeze-dried corn instead. And this is new to me, so I've never used this before in cooking. And so I'm hoping it goes well. If you have any other tips for freeze-dried corn, let me know, but I'm just gonna throw it in as is and hope for the best. So let's get started. All right, so let me get my pot here on medium heat. Just gonna add some oil. Any oil will do. This time I'm using olive oil, but a lot of times I'll use avocado oil, but anything you have is fine. I'll add a half of a diced red onion. And I'm just gonna cook this red onion until it's nice and soft and translucent. Now I'm gonna add in a couple tablespoons of my homemade taco seasoning, but you can use just a packet of taco seasoning if that's what you have. I'm just gonna saute this for just a minute or so just to get those spices to bloom a bit. It'll just make the flavor a little bit deeper. Next I'll add in a half a cup of rinsed green lentils. That's my chili beans, which are still frozen, that's okay. I'll add in 2 cups of either chicken stock, vegetable stock, water, whatever you have on hand. And again, in case you couldn't hear me because it's so loud, that was half a cup of green lentils that I picked over and rinsed. And then my 1 can of chili beans, or if you had black beans, any kind of beans will work for this. And then 2 cups of chicken stock, vegetable stock, or water, whatever you have. So I'll bring this to a simmer and just put the lid on and let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes with the green lentils there. I'm just giving it a head start because I am gonna add some tomatoes in, and that's going to slow down the cooking process a bit for the green lentils. So I just wanna give them a head start so they don't take as long to cook. Alrighty. So the lentils have been simmering here for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add about a 1/4 cup of rinsed red lentils, and then 2/3 a cup of rinsed quinoa, 1 cup of freeze-dried corn. I just usually use a can of corn that I've drained, and 1 can of fire-roasted diced tomatoes. And I'm just gonna give this a stir and bring it back to a simmer. Then I'll cover it and let it continue cooking for another 15-20 minutes or until everything is all cooked through. It might take a little longer because we did add tomato, and that usually slows things down a bit, so it could take up to twice as long. So just keep an eye on it and make sure it's fully cooked through. See you in a bit. It's been about 20 minutes. I'm just gonna see where we're at with the cooking process, and I need to see if I need to add more liquid because of these freeze-dried corn. The quinoa is almost done. I'm just gonna add a little bit more liquid so it can continue to cook. Maybe another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, it's been a couple more minutes and everything looks to be cooked through. I just like to serve this up with some cheese and some chips on the side, but it can be eaten just as is. I also like to add Greek yogurt, hot sauce. Any of those toppings will do. Add anything that you love to this. I added some fresh cilantro and some cheddar cheese, and I like to serve it with chips too. I hope you love this one just as much as we do. Enjoy. I'm gonna go ahead and soak my bag of black beans overnight, and then I'll cook them tomorrow morning so that way we can have them for dinner and maybe for the next day as well. All right, so I've got my beans. I'm just gonna go ahead and drain these, rinse them, and then get them in a pot and cover them with about 6 to 8 cups of water, and then I'll get them simmering on the stovetop. And this time I'm gonna add some red onions too. It adds some really nice flavor into the beans. So I'll add some red onions. I already have them all chopped from the fridge. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and season this with some salt too. And then I'm just gonna let this simmer for about 60 to 90 minutes covered. And then we'll see if the beans are nice and cooked through. It's been about an hour. I've got about 5 minutes left, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the lid off and just see where we're at with the beans right now. So they're easy to smash with the back of a spoon. I'm just gonna let this reduce a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and take them off the heat and they'll be ready for tonight. And I know, you know, soaking them as long as I do, you see that they kind of fall apart like that a little bit, but I'm gonna be using these to make something that I'm gonna blend the beans later anyway, so it's not a big deal, but that's totally up to you. This next recipe is for my favorite black bean patties, and I'm gonna be putting them here on some bread, but this is optional. I'm gonna be making sort of a black bean patty melt, but you can use buns or just do no buns at all, no bread, and just have them as is. They're really good like that. So I'm using about 3 cans worth of black beans, but it's about 4 cups measured out. You really don't have to worry too much. Just get 3 cans and it'll be fine. It'll turn out great. Then we're doing some ketchup, but you can use any kind of tomato sauce that you want for this. Some onion, any kind of onion is fine. 2 eggs, cheddar cheese or any cheese you like, half a cup of oats that I've blended really finely, some Worcestershire, and just some seasonings, and that's it. So the first thing I need to do is just saute these onions in oil until they're soft and translucent in a pot. That'll just take a few minutes. And while I'm sauteing my onions, I'm gonna go ahead and strain out all the liquid and then get these on a sheet tray. Now I've got my oven set to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just gonna put these in for about 15 minutes to dry them out, and then we'll take them out and blend everything up. While my beans are drying, I'm gonna add my onions that I've sauteed to either a food processor or a blender. Next, we'll add 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, half a cup of blended oats, half a cup of shredded cheese, 2 eggs, a tablespoon of Worcestershire or steak sauce, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, or you can use any tomato sauce that you like for this, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now I'm going to go ahead and give this a blend until it's combined. Now that my beans have dried a bit, I'm just going to add them to my blender. So messy. Now, are you really making black bean patties if you're not getting black beans everywhere? I don't think so. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend this, but I don't want it to be completely pureed. I'm going to make sure there's still some chunks of, you know, whole black beans left, so I'm not going to completely blend it. Here we go, just like that. Now I'm just going to scoop this out onto a parchment lined baking sheet. Parchment, stay still. It's about maybe half cup portions or so, give or take. And this is going to make somewhere between 6 and 8 patties usually. Just depends on how big you'd like them. I'll make some smaller patties for my kids. And you can kind of flatten them out a bit. Now I'm going to bake these at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes and then flip them, and then they should be done cooking pretty quickly after that, maybe 10 to 20 minutes, just depending on how thick you've made them. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. We're just going to flip these over and then put them back in for another 10 to 20 minutes, just depending on how long they take to cook through. Looking beautiful. See you in about 10 to 20. While I wait for them to be done, I'm going to go ahead and make a really easy chipotle mayo for me and my husband. So I'm just going to add some mayo to a small mixing bowl. Add a little bit of salt. I've got a giant lemon from my lemon tree. I'm just going to use a little bit of this lemon. Just a little bit of lemon juice. And then I'm just going to add some of the adobo sauce from this can of chipotle peppers. And if you're making this, you can just suit this to your taste, however spicy you want it. You could even use the chilies themselves and blend it up. I'm just going to be using the sauce today. I'm going to give that a mix, and then I'll taste it and season if I need any more seasoning. And that's it. All right, it's been 10 minutes, and these are nice and cooked through. They're over 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and they look nice and dry and set. So I'm going to take these out, and then I'm also going to turn these into melts as well. But you can eat them just as is if you want. So for the melts, I just melt some butter on a nonstick skillet, or you can use a stainless steel pan, whatever you have. And then I'll just add my bread. And I'll put 1 slice of cheese on one of the slices of bread. Okay, we're gonna make this a double. Okay, and then I'll put my patties. This one's gonna be for my kids. And I'll put some cheese on top, and you can use shredded or sliced cheese, whatever you wanna do. And then we'll just put this other piece of bread. And then for melts, we just make sure we press it down, get some good contact with the pan, and then just cook it until it's all melted and the bread is nice and golden and crispy on both sides. And that's it. They're so delicious. I really hope you like them too. Definitely let me know if you give these ones a try. Enjoy! In this next recipe, if you have some leftover black beans and want something super delicious, higher in protein and higher in fiber, I've got you covered with this one. It is loaded sweet potato fries. So first I'm just gonna cut my sweet potatoes into strips, add that to a bowl and toss it with some avocado oil, a little bit of salt, pepper, and chili powder. Now for my kids, I like to just do salt and pepper only, and then I'll take some out, put that on a sheet tray so they have some just without the chili powder, just because they don't like spice. So if you don't like spice, you can definitely skip the chili powder, but if you like it full of flavor, a little bit spicy, but not too bad, the chili powder is a must for sure. So just season to taste, add as much or as little of the salt, pepper, and chili powder, give it a toss, season again, give it a toss, and then we're gonna get a parchment lined baking sheet and put all of our sweet potato fries on there. We're just gonna bake these at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 45 minutes. And I'm just gonna make sure I flip them about halfway through. You really wanna keep an eye on these because they will burn quickly if you don't toss them periodically, just here and there. So just keep an eye. Now it's been about 45 minutes. They're all cooked through, and you can leave them on the sheet tray for this next part. But if you have an oven safe plate, you can transfer the fries there and start building our loaded fries. I'm using the leftover black beans that I've drained and rinsed, but you can use any beans that you want, or if you want to do cooked meat, you can. Then just add a little bit of shredded cheese on top and throw that back in the oven until it's nice and melty. And I like to top these with some diced avocado. And again, you can add anything that you want to this, but some grape tomatoes is amazing, Greek yogurt, or you can make a lime yogurt sauce, some cilantro, green onions, salsa, hot sauce, whatever you want to do for this. I hope you love it. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed that video, at least got a few ideas for some things to try in your home. I'd love to hear some more of your favorite meatless meals, so please put those down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to see more. I have a lot more budget-friendly meals and high fiber, high protein, meatless meals, meals with meat too, because we do still eat meat as well. But lots of things are coming your way pretty soon. So be sure to subscribe and put that little bell on for notifications. And if you have time today, YouTube thinks that you'd like to watch another video, so go ahead and click on that, enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.